There you go.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Small Business Interview. I have with me here today Vonda Lee, who's the creator and owner of California Cheesecakes. Many of us have seen the cute cheesecakes in a cup at local farmers markets. Thank you, Vonda, for joining us today. We are so happy to have you.
Oh, it's great to be here. Thank you for asking me.
So why don't you tell us the story behind California Cheesecakes? How did it all begin?
Okay. Well, let's see. I actually came up with this recipe myself about 40 years ago. I was, it was early. When I was a little child, we lived on the farm. We didn't go out to eat much, but my mother would go to the big town of about 60,000 and she would go to the grocery stores and to the yardage stores, which are material, thread, material, all that stuff. And she would be for hours. So she would give us a dime, I'm sure it was a dime back then, and let us go down to the Woolworth or wherever and get something. And I spotted this dessert that looked good. I'd never heard of it. It was cheesecake. And that's what I got with my money every time. So I just loved it. I just eat it slow because I liked it so much. But then when I grew up and I started going out to dinner, it wasn't the same. It wasn't, I thought all cheesecake was the same. And it was great. It just wasn't the same as that. And that's what I wanted. And it's just a different styles all. And so I found a recipe that sounded like it might work, but it didn't. But I made tons and tons of adjustments and I got close. I didn't get it on the money, but I got as close as I could because I can still taste that cheesecake from when I was a kid. But then I was divorced when my children were young, very young, and I didn't have any help. So I always worked two and a half jobs. And I started making cinnamon rolls and cheesecakes, little cheesecakes, for quick trips and convenience stores and some restaurants. And back then I was making the whole ones too. And that was great because I could get up in the middle of the night and go deliver and, then go to my other job. So that's what it was with supplemental income for me. When I was doing the recipe, I wasn't planning on being commercial. And then as time went on, my family and friends and everybody started saying, oh my gosh, they loved it. And so eventually I moved away eventually, and my kids got out of college, and I moved out to California, where I always wanted to be, and from Oklahoma. And I didn't start the cheesecake business full time because I had some neck surgery. But once I got through with that, I was so blessed and it was such a success that I just decided it's time to start. So I quit my job and with US Bank, and then I started the market. And I started with the farmers markets so that I could get the experience, and it was kind of a testing ground and all that. I never planned on being in those all these years. It was always wholesale, retail, whatever. But anyway, those worked out great for me, and I'm really glad I did it because it really got the word out to a lot of people, and it helped me to formulate different flavors. I had 4 flavors when I started back in Oklahoma, and now here, gosh, I probably have 18, not all at the same time. Some are seasonal, like eggnog and candy cane crunch and stuff like that, but and pumpkin spice. But it really gave me a lot of experience. And now I'm concentrating also a great deal on the wholesale, get to more retail stores. I'm already in some. And then now we're starting to delivery as of, well, I've already done some, but our website will be changed tomorrow. So we're going to start pick up and delivery as well because we've had a lot of requests. So what the heck, might as well. So that's kind of the story. And my kids got out of college, and they were out of college, and I was a little older, and I thought, if I'm ever going to do this, which has been my dream, I need to just jump in, and I did. And it's worked out pretty good. It's worked out
Yeah,
pretty
you
good.
guys are a bit hit. So now that you're doing deliveries, have you seen that increase? And like, I guess did what effect has is COVID-19 having on your business? More deliveries?
Okay. Well, here's how it went. And immediately when the COVID and the stay-in order and everything, shelter in place, the farmers markets closed down immediately. And so I'm in 4 of those, 4 days a week, and that's a pretty good income for me. And I couldn't do any of the markets. They weren't letting them open. We thought they were going in, and then they didn't. And then after all the stuff, I was really glad, because I didn't feel like it would be safe for people and for me. And so now we're still not in any farmers markets all this time, but they did let them open on a limited, like only certified farmers and fruits and vegetables and essentials. I did say I thought cheesecake was an essential, but they didn't go for it. Anyway, so that stopped, and that was a sizable chunk, of my living. And I had wholesale, and I wasn't sure how wholesale would go. As you probably know, all the grocery stores, the convenience store, everything was packed for a while. Everybody's trying to get toilet tissue and sanitizers and stuff like that, and groceries to stock up. So we did really well. And then now that it's kind of slowed down a little bit, and different places, it's still doing really well. And I think it's because people are coming in and buying more at a time, I guess. And gosh, I walked into 7-Eleven the other day, and I'm like, I was just here checking on my cheesecakes, and they're practically gone. So I'm like, oh gosh, I gotta get some more in here. And that's happened with Fraser Farms. We're in a couple of grocery stores, beautiful Fraser Farms, in quite a few places. So that's helped a bunch. And then now we're starting delivery, because to be honest, I wasn't going to do delivery in the beginning, because I thought a lot of people might not want someone coming to their house or whatever. And then I got started getting emails and phone calls to, are you delivering? Customers that were from the farmers markets in different places. So I went ahead if they asked me. And then I thought, you know what, this could go on a little longer. I think we'll just do delivery, because people love it. I show up at their door, of course, with a mask and gloves and everything. And it's kind of like, they make me feel like Santa Claus, like I'm bringing a special treat, and I think everybody's just been in so long, and they want something a little different. So that's really fun. And we're real quick with the kitchen. We always were before this ever started. So
Yeah,
I don't worry about, my cheesecakes with anybody.
Man, I wish cheesecakes would just show up at my doorstep.
Well, if you didn't live so far, that would happen. And I was doing shipping, just so people know, I was doing shipping, and I've shipped to 22 states and Hawaii a couple of times, but I stopped shipping because it was so expensive with dry ice, insulated containers, and everything that went into it, and the postage, that it was just so much, and I just couldn't charge customers them. I didn't charge them for labor, and I charged them just for cost for everything but the cheesecake, postage, the packing, the dry ice, and it just wasn't profitable. And but it was still hard for me to quit. It's still hard for me when people email me a lot. So I'm working on that, getting a cheaper way to do it, but I haven't found it yet.
One day, that's for sure.
So I'm not doing it right now, unless somebody calls and begs. I've done a few people who don't care what it costs overnight. They don't care. So some people. So I've still done some, and I want to get that going. I really do. Let's see.
So
Gosh, I've kind of rambled on. I hope I made sense.
yeah, so it looks like you're doing pickup in Carlsbad and delivery to Carlsbad and Oceanside at the moment, right?
Well, we're actually going to I have someone going to help me down south They actually sell my cheesecakes themselves. And so they're down south of San Diego. So I'm taking North San Diego County, most of it, and we're going to do free delivery, at least for a little while, till everybody gets in a better shape and kind of a service to, uh, you know, just because everybody's kind of in a bind or in an unusual situation. So we're not going to charge shipping. Delivery, unless it's over a certain mileage. But I'm taking Oceanside, Vista, San Marcos, Carlsbad, Encinitas, Cardiff, Lucadia, down to Del Mar. So
Wow.
we'll be taking, Rancho Santa Fe, we'll take that. And and then down south, he'll take everything San Diego's whole area, a little bit east too, and like Hillcrest, quite a few places, and a little bit east, and then all south of San Diego too, and all of San Diego. So that's
Awesome.
great.
Yeah, and I have your website up with a list of shops. Are you still supplying to your local retailers?
Oh yeah, we are. And it's, like I said, it's been unusual. I guess people are buying more at a time because they're not getting out as much. And I've been kind of surprised. So it's been great. I've been restocking almost all of my customers except for one. And that is the airport, San Diego International Airport. I have someone who has a kiosk, Elegant Desserts there, that buys my cheesecakes. And they do great. They order a lot. But now with this, there's not near as many people flying. So they're not ordering as much as they normally do, which, I understand. And
yeah, that makes sense.
it's been kind of fun. People say, I saw your cheesecakes in the airport. It's kind of cool. But my customers love, like people from the farmers markets and people that know me, they love it when they see my cheesecakes in a store because they feel like they're kind of a part of it. I know them personally. So that's a lot of fun for people.
And what's cool about your cheesecakes is that they're in a cup. It's not only convenient, they're individually packaged, so people don't have to worry about being served or have someone else touch their food. So it's very convenient for this time, which is really cool.
It really is. We used to do the big ones, but the little ones were so popular and caught on so well that we now just do those. Like I said, unless somebody bakes or a family member bakes. We do a lot of weddings and special events, parties. And if you go on the website, there is a events page where you can see some of the weddings and actually some wedding cakes I did for family, but I don't normally do that at all because I'm not that good at doing a cake, and it's all from cheesecake, stack, and it's all from cheesecake. So it's a little different. But I've had some family, nieces and nephews that say I have to. So I'll ship cases to them usually. I've done Washington State, Oklahoma, Kansas, quite a few places. And I'll ship them the cases, which are 48 in a cup, and I put dry ice all the way through it, and I ship those, and for how many they need, and then I go there to do the wedding cake itself. So it's quite a challenge, but it's wonderful. But I just wish I were faster, and I don't have the time. So if I get big enough where I can hire somebody to do that, then that would be wonderful. I'd really advertise that. But as it is mostly people just ask me about weddings and stuff.
I did see those pictures. They're very beautiful. So hopefully you do get back to that one day.
Well, the black and white was actually in Boston, and my niece aunt got married, and they absolutely had to have cheesecakes because she grew up on them from the time she's a little kid. And so I let him talk me into that one. And that was a lot of work, but it was so fun and was so rewarding to do that. And I just charge them a cost, and
Let me see if
so,
I can share my screen because I have the image pulled up so I can show people. They are very impressive. Let's
oh,
see.
thank you. Well, they're on the website too. So, um,
So it's this cake right here. I got the black and white one down.
oh, yes. Oh, you're good. There's the black and white one.
I know, look at all of this. It's so impressive.
And then it had black lace and white lace on it. You can't tell edible lace. I had never done that before, but it turned out really cute. And then the one with the horse on the right, or my right, was another niece in Kansas and her husband, and he is horse all the way, horse people, they're horse people. So I don't know if you can see it. That was the groom's cake. But if you can see it, there was two horses, one like a male, one female on the top, but down below, I stuck that little colt in there, kind of just blended in as a fun thing. Everybody loved that. I don't know if you can see it on the picture. If you blow it up, you can.
Kind of. I could see the little horse down here.
Yeah.
It's not letting me zoom in though.
But that was a lot of fun, and I've done them kind of all over for family.
Yeah.
The gold one and the burgundy, that was my great nephew actually. And I said, no, I'm not going to do any more cakes. And he said, you have to. Okay, I will. I went out there, my niece, one niece helped me, and the other niece loaned me her beautiful home kitchen. And we did over 500 little cups, and then, of course, the wedding cake. And it was quite a challenge. It was in the Kansas City area. That was fun. I have a blast doing it. I wish I was wealthy, but I just do it for fun, but not there yet.
Yeah, I mean it's so well done. Like, yeah. So hopefully one day you can, when you get bigger, you can get back into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really really cool thing to see.
Thank you
It's
so
different.
much.
It's different than getting a normal.
It is. It is, and usually for the weddings and stuff, I get a lot of comment back. Everybody loved it, and we freeze them now. So I'm actually take them usually there if I'm delivering on the day of, and they set them out, whoever the caterer, whatever, frozen, and then they're just perfect, for people, because some people eat them partially frozen, but these are pretty much thawed out, but they got a little bit of that. And that works out great.
Yeah, it's like ice cream.
They freeze great. And that's a story for over 30 years. I never froze them. All the years I sold them and made them, because they stayed in the fridge so well. They were refrigerated great, and they would last, and it's not a problem. And my customers at the market started telling me, oh my gosh, we've been freezing your cheesecakes. They're so good frozen. And now I'm like, really? So I started testing that, and they freeze great, and they refreeze great if people are out a little bit, after they leave. And then I said, you can refreeze them. They can refreeze great, no loss in quality. So we make them now. We freeze them first thing, and then we take them to the markets frozen, and we sell both, frozen and not. And I'd say maybe it's got more than half eat them partially frozen. I hear all kinds of stories. They microwave them for 7 seconds. They, let them sit out for 5 minutes. But they're loving them frozen. So
Well, summer's coming up.
pardon?
So when I see those cheesecakes, stick them in the freezer.
Yes, I'm so thankful that happened, because that has made them really versatile for us, and everything for shipping and keeping. And I'm so grateful to my customers for that one, because it was all them. And when I say I didn't do that for, is a little over 30 years. My gosh, how old are you? Been making the cheesecakes for so long. But anyway.
Yeah. So do you see any changes to the way you do business once things like when we try to go back to normal?
Yes, I think there's going to be lots of changes. I assume, I imagine it's a pretty good assumption based on everything I hear and read, that the farmers markets, when they are able to fully open back up, it's going to be pretty strict with 6 feet apart, only one person at your booth at a time, which is going to be tough because we're used to having people bunch up. We just fast as we can, let them sample. We sample all of our flavors at the markets, and they can sample more than one. So that's going to be a little different. It'll have to be one person sample and then decide if they want to buy. And even family members are going to be probably, it's going to be up to us to not have more than one at our front of our booth. So it's going to be different. And I think the 10 people rule will definitely apply. You know, it can't come in groups into our booth. We have a lot of families and friends that come to the market together. That'll be different. Will be different. We're very careful. I've always had a name in our commercial kitchen because I'm not a germ freak personally, but with my cheesecakes in the commercial kitchen, we spend a half hour, and this is long before, ever since I started, half hour before we start anything, wiping everything down with sanitary, everything, every handle, refrigerator handle, walk-in handle, all our tables, faucet handles, doorknobs, everything. Because I don't want any cross-contamination and anything like that. And I don't know for sure who's all been in the kitchen before we got there that morning. So we're real careful. Now we're wearing masks, of course, and new ones. We're using the disposals and in the kitchen and gloves. And then we do the same thing for delivery. So, things, and that's probably going to be the way it is for a while. At least it sounds like it. I pray it's not. Just can find a vaccine, but it just depends on what happens. But yeah, I'm going on. It'll come back. It's just going to be different. And that's why if delivery works out and I get the word out, I will just think that might just be a whole new avenue I hadn't even thought of. And I have a good car for gas. So.
Yeah. So that's kind of a novel opportunity that's kind of presenting itself unexpectedly. The delivery.
Very unexpected. And this happened, a friend of mine said, you never know what's going to come out of this. Something good might come out of it. I'm like, I can't imagine what. But that, for me, could really be a market I hadn't planned on. So, and I love going to people's houses. And now we have GPS. It's much easier. I'm from the day of maps, so GPS makes it a breeze. And so we're happy to do that now. And when I started getting emails and everything, that was great. I thought, well, geez, we're going to have to. I delivered to people who asked me in the area, but I wasn't officially delivering. And so that's worked out great. And what we're doing now to start with the delivering, up here in North County, the fastest way for people is to either text me or call me. Normally, people go onto the website, do the contact sheet and everything. That takes a little while. And they can call or text me, and then we can go back and forth. I've done a lot. I've delivered a lot without even talking on the phone, address, how many you want, what flavors, go on the website, look. And so that's worked out good.
And your phone number's on your website and on.
Well, my phone number is on my website, but not for delivery yet. But it's the same one. I haven't. I do my own website, and it's very basic. So I'm redoing it for the shipping, and I'm stuck a little bit. And so I'm thinking I might have to call a professional as I make changes. It needs to be updated anyway. So
Well, speaking of your flavors, you have a lot and they all sound so good. Which ones are the most popular ones?
Oh gosh, it's sometimes it varies. I always tell people, every market's a little different. We'll have one flavor that's not usually that big a seller, and everybody wants it. Everybody wants to sample it. And so the next week we bring more of that flavor, and then it's something else. But there are some staples that are always um, our biggest ones, and we know we have to take a lot more of those to the markets. And one of those is strawberry, which makes a lot of sense because it's kind of a traditional classic type deal. And we have classic cheesecake with strawberries on top. And yes, they're real strawberries, not jam. But we get asked that. And then another one is the cookies and cream. That's really popular, and it's with everybody. I thought it'd be kids, but it's guys, girls, older people, younger people, and of course kids love it. So that's really popular. And then
That's this one, right?
um,
This one right here. Cookies and cream.
yeah, exactly. And we actually chop those crumbs up from that big box of Oreo cookie. Oh, can't say that. Good cookies. And I don't want Oreos suing me. Of course, if I were big enough, if that were a problem, that'd probably be a good problem to have. But we chop all those up. They go in bags, clear bags, and we have a mallet, and we chop them all up ourselves. And we do a lot of that still. And then I wanted to go next, at least for quite a while, it was caramel. And caramels, let's see if, oh, I know. I forgot. I always have a few here at the house. This is the caramel. I don't know if you can see it, but it's swirled and then on top, and people love it too. And that is an original one, and that's very popular as well. And this is the farmer's market. And people love the size very much. I do a little different container for wholesale. They may not look at it, but they're exactly almost the same amount. It's just the configuration. And the only reason I went for that one is it stacks better in like 7-Eleven and the stores and different places. So I am. That's the caramel. Okay, then the most surprise. So it's strawberry cookies, caramel, and a new one's come up the ranks is peanut butter fudge now. It's almost outdoing caramel, and I hesitated to do it for a long time because of peanut allergies, But I'm real careful. I always repeat when we're giving a sample peanut butter fudge, make sure they're not allergic. And it's worked out great. They love that one. But the surprise one, the one that has just blown me away the last few years is a flavor that my good friend called me here in Carlsbad and said, I want you to make a key lime cheesecake for the big one for my husband's birthday. And I'm like, no. I mean, she's a good friend. I said, Becky, I can't. I grew up in Oklahoma. I can do cobblers, pies, take them to the state fair, whatever. But we didn't have key lime. I barely have tasted it, probably twice. And so she insisted. She wouldn't let me off the hook. And so I did a lot of research to try to find the right combination and did a lot of reading. And apparently we hit it because it's our number one seller. Became our number one seller. And I wasn't planning on even making more for the markets, but I took some and it went so well. And I had no idea people loved key lime. Even people from Florida always hesitate. Oh, I'm from Florida. I know what I'm doing with the key lime. I'll taste it. And I love it because they nearly always buy it because they love key lime. And I think we just got lucky on that one. We hit it the right. It's sweet, little sweet, but not too sweet, and tart, but not too tart. It's kind of the word is it's the most refreshing flavor, and you just take a bite and you go refreshing. Oh my gosh, So I do brag on that one quite a bit. And today, my friend and her husband obviously now get a few key lime cheesecakes free every once in a while because I'm very grateful. She made me do it. So that's the flavors. But then there's lots of others. We do holiday ones. We try to come up with something new, and we're going to come up with, well, gosh, I forgot. We were actually going to do a whole new flavor that I'd never done before. That was our plan right before this happened. Something really different, because it's so fun for our customers to try something different. And well, I don't know what that's going to be yet. I just got lots of thoughts. So when we start cranking back up, we'll probably add a flavor or two.
Oh, so we have to check back for the new flavor, right? Check
Yeah, yeah.
Facebook.
There's quite a few to pick from now, actually. You won't. The biggest problem is which one to pick. That's usually what people say. I don't know which one. I'll pick a couple.
Yeah, I have a list right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's from your website, and there's a lot of flavors. So it's
Yes.
you might as well just try them all, though, right? Why not? It's very interesting.
Yes, and it was really cute because the person that worked for me for a few years was my son, and grown son. He happened to be in between moving and job, and said, "Mom, I'll help you out a little bit," and he loved it. So he's become kind of famous, the cheesecake guy, and he just really is funny. And the first time I went to the market with him working by himself, I took family to go down and show him my booth and everything. And I heard somebody yelling, or doing their thing. My mama makes it. My mama makes it. Come over here. Don't hurt my mom's feelings. Come on over. Taste it. And that, I'm like, I think that's coming from my booth. So my son's had a lot of fun with that. I mean, talk about a great sales line.
That's so cute.
It is cute. When I work on I try to think, what could I do that's, you can't really say, I make them, come try them, don't hurt my feelings. You can't do that. So I sometimes just throw out there different things to be funny, but grandma makes it, because I am a grandma. Thank you very much. And that little girl's grown up on cheesecake. She knew how to count change very early in life, and she's helped me at the booth a lot. She was about 2 and 3 when I started, and now she's 13. So she knows the business. Let's see. I just hope everybody, small business. I talk to a lot of small business people all the time, because we all know, a lot of us know each other and have phone numbers and everything. And just wish everybody good luck with getting some help, including myself, but getting some help, the ones that have had to shut completely down. And, but of course, most important of all, those people who've been touched by the virus itself, and families, because that's just, I can't even imagine that. Yeah. So our prayers go out to them. And if someone told me that had happened to them, I'd just bring them cheesecakes. They could just have them because that's got to be one of the hardest things I've heard about. So not being able to be with your family member, all that stuff that's going on, that's a tough one. So I try not to complain too much.
Yeah, it is we are in times of uncertainty, and I mean, we're in a community. We have to watch out for each other. Those guys on the front lines.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And they're going back to having us wear masks. And I noticed, because I do have to go out to the kitchen a lot, and I do have to go get supplies, I noticed more people were starting not to wear the mask. And made me a little nervous, but I'm just careful. I've got all my equipment on. My pretty mask that my girlfriend from Oklahoma sent us a bunch of them, and the pretty ones, and then we use the disposables at the kitchen too. But I think here in California, we get kind of hard knocks sometimes by people from out of state, but of course I love it. But they've been pretty strict with us, and And people have been great about complying. I really think that. I think we were saved a lot of grief by getting with it. So I don't mind wearing a mask, or gloves or anything else if it's going to help even anybody.
Yeah.
So I don't mind that at all. We don't mind it at all. They're not that expensive, by the way.
Yeah.
And I know where to get everything. So anyway, just thinking of those families most of all. And then people who are having a tough time paying rent and the bills and car payments, and that's tough. That's a tough one too.
It is.
But anyway, there's lots of good things that have come out of it, lots of wonderful stories and people helping each other. And just like you guys helping, asking me to do an interview, asking other small businesses to tell their story. That's really, really cool. I love that. And thank you for asking me.
Yeah, we're very concerned. I know I'm personally very worried. Small businesses are kind of the backbone of our community here. I mean, especially here in California, we're a big foodie state. Yeah.
Yes.
So yes, we're worried. But we're all very grateful that you're able to come out here and join us today to let us know what's going on. We're happy to hear that you're still able to crank out business and you're getting deliveries and you're finding new opportunities. So thank you for your time and your stories. They're very.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I was pretty nervous. I never think I look good on, camera like that, but it gave me a chance to dress up today. Makeup, dress, earrings, because we're pretty casual at the kitchen. But thank you so much to you all for helping me do this. This is fun. You were so easy. I probably talked too much. I was worried I wouldn't know what to say, but.
Well, thank you. And thanks everyone for joining us today in this small interview. We'll have the video available on our internal site if you guys missed it. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.